Welcome to Wikipedia Online Reputation and Measurement, What You Need to Know. I'm Josh Greene, and over the next half hour or so, we'll be talking about all the latest developments in Wikipedia and measurement and how you can use them in your practice. I am Josh Greene with the Mather Group. We're a digital agency that helps companies manage how they're found online through search engine optimization, Wikipedia, and online advertising. We've helped everyone from big companies to nonprofits to smaller startups, and are happy to be able to share some of the information we've learned with you today. By way of quick background, the first question is, what is Wikipedia? Wikipedia ideally is designed to be a crowdsourced encyclopedia compiling all the world's knowledge with the wisdom of the crowds. Everyone can contribute, everyone can help edit, and hopefully through all of those actions, we have a consensus on what the world's critical information is. We'll talk a little bit about how, like most well-intentioned ideas online, that works a little bit differently in practice than it does in theory. Wikipedia is hugely important to your online presence. It's almost always going to rank in the top 3 on Google for any keyword, person, or place. It's one of the top 5 most visited websites. It's used in voice searches. It powers your Google Knowledge Panel, and it tends to be viewed as a definitive, objective resource for consumers, investors, employees, and the press. And we'll talk a little bit more about how it actually works in terms of objectivity when people are editing it. Before we get into some of the actual membership and measurement numbers of who makes up Wikipedia and how we measure their impact, there are a couple non-quantifiable pieces that people have come to internalize. One is that Wikipedia provides a bit of subconscious proof in terms of when people are looking at, say, the search results for a company. On the left side here, you see search results for IBM. You see Wikipedia powering the knowledge panel. There'll be Wikipedia results down here. That gives you the idea that this is a big, substantial company. There are a lot of these cues that have been built in that you may not even be aware are happening. Versus over here, you have on the right side, Baldino's Lock and Key, located in Vienna in the United States. And this gives you much more of a sense of this is a smaller business with some physical locations. You're seeing the Google Map Pack over here. You're seeing some information. So without even realizing it, you're already getting cued for what type of information you're seeing. You also see it with people as well. Over on the left, there is another Josh Greene who is world famous, works at Harvard University, has written a couple of best-selling books. And you can see that Google's saying, if you're searching on Josh Greene, this is probably who you're going to be looking for. He's showing up in 3 of the top 5 results here. Versus on the right side, when you search on Ben Isley, Google's not entirely sure what's going on. It shows you Facebook, it shows you LinkedIn, things that are more directory pages where it's hoping you can narrow down the search for it. But it's not saying, hey, there's one well-known Ben Isley that we think is going to be the definitive result for you. So that's definitely something to keep in mind in terms of the impact that you're seeing from Wikipedia. Wikipedia also has that impact on SEO and other places. As we've mentioned, you'll see right here, we're doing a search on a software company, and you've got Wikipedia as the second and third results. Over in the middle of this page, you've got the people also ask questions, and Wikipedia is powering that results for a search. Similarly, up above, the list of software companies is coming out of Wikipedia. And on the right side of this, you're seeing ServiceNow, the company. Wikipedia is powering both the opening paragraph about the company as well as a whole lot of data points. So having a huge impact on what people are seeing. So let's just talk a little bit about what is underlying Wikipedia and the pages so you can understand how some of that plays into the different pieces of the Wikipedia ecosystem. One of the first things people learn about Wikipedia is anyone can edit Wikipedia. And I say that with air quotes because that is technically true. However, there are so many rules and unwritten regulations about Wikipedia. Oftentimes, people think that anyone can edit Wikipedia means that they should immediately jump in and start editing Wikipedia without knowing what the rules are. And there are a lot of negative things that you can happen without understanding how the editing process works. One of the other big questions with Wikipedia is how does a Wikipedia page come to be created? What happens is that someone who's an editor, a volunteer editor on Wikipedia, decides that there is a lack of information about a particular topic available to them, and then they want to create a page. Usually they'll do a template of another page. So if you were starting a company page, you might use the IBM template to create a new page for yourself. You can create it using the Wikipedia markup language that you see on the left. And after you've gotten it into the right format, have it looking good, have the citations done, created the way you want to, you then set it through an article for creation process. Right now, there's a little bit of a backlog. It can take a month or two. And then a Wikipedia editor who has permissions to approve new pages will either say, yes, this is live, it's a new page. No, we don't think this is a good fit for Wikipedia. Or oftentimes, typically, here are some things we think need to be cleaned up and fixed before this becomes a page, and then it goes live. If you saw a lot of the code on the right and were sort of put off by that, or that seemed like you needed a huge technical background, you're right. A couple years back, the Wikipedia community decided that they needed to make Wikipedia editing more accessible to possibly underserved or under technology friendly communities. And they created this visual editor on the right. And basically what it does is it translates the code that you're seeing over here on the left side into Wikipedia code on the right. And that's made it a whole lot easier for new editors to participate in the Wikipedia editing process. It also has a lot of shortcut tools, so a lot of the technical pieces are a bit easier for people to do and to understand. One of the things that's also helpful if you're doing analysis on Wikipedia is that you can see the revision history of every page on Wikipedia. So you can see every edit that's ever been made. It's almost an early version of the blockchain in that if you want to find out who's been editing the page, what types of edits they've made, you can log in and you'll see right here the exact edits, the editor. There's a mechanism for talking to them, for seeing every contribution they've ever made, and what kind of impact that edit has had on the page in terms of the size. So you'll see, you can talk, you can see what the contributions are, and then it also tends to be a best practice to make a comment about what you've done in terms of the edit so someone can follow the editing that's happened over time on Wikipedia. And you'll see also how frequently people are editing changes, and we'll show some of the tools there, but that can give you an idea of how frequently a company page is being edited and also the likelihood that edits may stick. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're starting to measure what's going on with your Wikipedia page and its impact that it's having on your online reputation. One of the other things to keep in mind is Wikipedia is never static. Wikipedians love editing Wikipedia, but even more than that, they really love discussing what the right way to edit Wikipedia is and what should be the definitive rules on a variety of things. If you just think about how heated political discourse has become in this day and age, it carries over into Wikipedia as people try and make sure their point of view is reflected in the encyclopedia. So you always will be able to see on every page a talk button that will give you a feel for what discussions have been going on about big changes with Wikipedia. This is also something that you can measure to get a feel for the controversy of the pages or how long it's taken to make certain changes to Wikipedia. It'll give you also a very, very good clue on what the heated areas of discussion might be on that page. So definitely would keep an eye out on that. There are a number of rules that are going on in the background on Wikipedia pages. Wikipedia asks everyone to assume good faith on the actions of other editors. Wikipedia has to have a neutral point of view, and you can't use any copyrighted material on it. That tends to be challenging for marketers. They may want to list all 40 awards that their product has won over the last few years, or use some information that's been sort of vetted by legal and perfect and copy and pasted onto a Wikipedia page. There are bots continuously running on Wikipedia looking for copyrighted material, so that'll often get taken down right away if you use copyrighted material. You also have to use reliable sources that are verifiable. So if someone clicks through to that citation at the bottom of the page, really one of the key things that Wikipedia expects is that you'll be able to see the original source and the material that's being referenced from it. So every fact that's on there should be confirmed somewhere. That can be challenging sometimes, but the idea is to make sure that it is in fact a fact and not opinion-based encyclopedia. One thing also just to keep in mind, and it probably doesn't apply quite as much to this audience, is oftentimes Wikipedia can resemble rolling a rock up a hill and hoping it doesn't fall back down. Before you get involved in editing, that's just one thing I would highly encourage you to keep in mind, is because Wikipedia can change at any time, it can be challenging for new editors to understand that what Wikipedia is one day may not be the same thing as an entry as the next day. So that's one of the three key things that Wikipedia sometimes can cause trouble with. It can get edited at any time, and one of the running jokes around our office is actually that the worst time for Wikipedia to be edited is usually about 30 seconds before the CEO of a particular company looks at a page. It may have been perfect for 6 months prior to that, but it can change at any time. False and biased information can creep into Wikipedia pages, and controversies tend to get bigger and bigger. We have a number of clients who will actually measure the number of lines of controversy on their page and sort of track how it changes over time as a bit of an early warning system in terms of what's going on with their public image and reputation. So Wikipedia also tends to amplify your brand. It has significant impacts on the SEO side of things. There are a wide variety of categories and lists. So you might be in the business process automation space, and so there's probably a page on business process automation that your company might be included on or as part of a list. Also, your content can be part of the sourcing for that page, which is good for visibility and awareness. Wikipedia also has the side effect of building links, which do have a little bit of an impact on things. It has the data from Wikipedia, as we saw earlier, gets syndicated across the web. And the nav boxes play a pretty big role as well in ultimately the SEO for an organization. So you can see that here. If we look at the references here, here's salesforce.com. being a source for a low-code development platform. You can see a similar thing with business applications over here, where you've got callouts for companies like Etsy, Eventbrite, and Groupon. All of those good for their visual prominence within Wikipedia and their industry. One of the other things you'll see when doing research on who's reading Wikipedia, because it is viewed as an objective resource, you have a lot of stakeholders, press, potential employees, analysts, all looking at Wikipedia. It tends to be the second place people go. They'll start out in an organization's website, and then they'll move along to Wikipedia to try and get what they view as the unbiased point of view. So how do you measure and evaluate Wikipedia? The subjective part of it is generally a little bit easier. You take a look and see what the reactions are to the organization to that page and what they want to do in reaction to it. We picked an example here, the Zoho Corporation, that has an office suite that's very popular, and we'll go through some of the metrics that you'd be able to see when you're looking at that in Wikipedia. So the first thing is every page you can see the amount of traffic it's getting each day under page history. And if you look at page statistics, it'll show you over the previous month the number of page views and the daily average. So there are 1,300 people a day looking at Zoho's page, which is pretty significant. You'll also see how many edits have been made over the past month, how many different editors were doing it. And then you can also see how many people have Zoho on their watch list. So anytime a change is made, they're notified. So you can see that there are 80 people keeping an eye on the page to be notified whenever a change is made. And you can see right now the page is not protected, meaning theoretically any Wikipedia editor can edit it. You also have the ability to see how much traffic you're getting in other languages and what redirects to this page from other areas. You'll also usually want to track category pages. So if there's a page like productivity software that mentions Zoho, you'll be able to do the same sort of statistics from that perspective and be able to report out on that. Sometimes that can even be more important just in terms of how you're doing relative to your category and your competitors. So if we look at productivity software, in this case, it's interesting. There are only 110 people a day looking at the category itself, while almost 10 times that are looking at the company itself. So this can tell us very specifically where it's much more likely to be valuable to putting our effort into Wikipedia. You can also measure the SEO impact. We highlighted these 5 areas on the right, and where that tends to have an impact is on traffic, links, domain authority, and knowledge panels. All of those are likely things you're tracking as part of your search engine optimization effort, so you can measure the impact of them over time. Wikipedia does build links. We've typically seen it help with domain authority. Even though the links are no follow, they still do seem to have an impact. So you can track all of that and how it results in traffic to the site that you're concerned about. It's really important as you start down this road to have a plan. You want to get started measuring and figure out what's important to your organization. You also want to figure out not just how important it is, but how much effort and how valuable it is, so you can decide, where does this live? Who needs to be looped in? Who's measuring the management of it? And how does that get coordinated if someone internally is in fact editing the page itself? So I would very much encourage you to sort of set up this plan ahead of time before you get started going down this road. So key takeaways as we wrap up: Wikipedia drives really valuable traffic, oftentimes more valuable than cold search engine traffic because it's people who are aware of the organization and usually have a reason specifically for looking at it. If you've dealt with the challenge of measuring PR, Wikipedia has its own unique challenges. There's a bit of a brand halo or impact that you're trying to measure, which can be tough to put a value on. So oftentimes we try and make sure that whoever ultimately is measuring PR is consulted, because it's going to be the same type of metrics and language that whoever is doing that is using. And if you're speaking a common language within the company, it tends to make it much easier to evaluate it. In addition to traffic, ego reasons, and other reasons, there is a measurable SEO impact from Wikipedia. So you'll also want to loop in that part of your company, which really just highlights the final point that measuring Wikipedia is often going to be a cross-disciplinary effort because it does impact so many different functions. So hopefully this has been helpful in terms of giving you an overview of Wikipedia, how it works, and some of the different areas that will help you with measurement. I'm always happy to chat about Wikipedia. If you have any questions, would like to join and ask me anything, my email is josh@themathergroupllc.com. We're always happy to talk through my Calendly link at the Mather Group LLC. So thank you for joining us today. I hope this was valuable for you, and please let me know if you'd like to chat. Thank you.